And would you all please stand? All rise, as they say. Please be seated. And welcome everyone. Bienvenidos a todos. Bienvenue à tous. I'm Christopher Bowen. I'm a Superior Court judge of the state of California, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you here. What a joy it is for us all to be here. We have come together to celebrate the miracle of love and to witness the union of Claire and Maurice. As Claire and Maurice come before us to be married, they wish to acknowledge and thank their parents, Lisa and Terry, who have been married for 35 years this month, and Leonore and Eugene, who have been married 39 years, also this month. Claire and Maurice would like to thank them for their endless love and support given throughout their lives, and for the wonderful example of partnership that inspires them and brings them to this special moment. Claire and Maurice would also like to thank Patty Lessard, our ASL interpreter. Patty has helped Claire's family celebrate many special occasions. They would also like to thank Ashish, who introduced the two of them. Without him, we would not be here. Just a quick comment on place. We're here at San Francisco City Hall, this wonderful, opulent, beautiful building. This building replaced an earlier city hall that was destroyed in the earthquake and fire of 1906. So this building, completed 1915, 1916, was San Francisco's way of saying, I'm back, I will survive. And to underscore that point, Claire and Maurice have asked me to sing the famous disco anthem. Ready, Bruce? Oh, wait. Oh, there was a revision. Wait a minute. Oh, yes. Christopher's disco number out. Exclamation point, underline, exclamation point. Okay. All right. This building has been the site of many other important events in the history of San Francisco, California, and our country. I'll touch on a happier one. Of course, this was the site in the fall of 2004, where under then Mayor Gavin Newsom, the first same-sex weddings were performed. I guess it turned out to be illicitly at that time, but that got the ball rolling. And so not only have Claire and Maurice picked an absolutely beautiful place to have today's event, but also a place that's imbued with and filled with history and love. We are gathered together this afternoon to witness and celebrate the coming together of two separate lives. We have come to join these two individuals in marriage, Claire and Maurice, to be with them and rejoice with them in the making of this important commitment. The essence of the marriage commitment is the taking of another person in their entirety as beloved, companion, and friend. It is therefore a decision which is not to be entered into lightly, but rather undertaken with great consideration and respect for both the other person and oneself. Love is one of the deepest and most essential experiences that human beings can have, and adds depth and meaning to our lives. The sensual part of love is one of life's greatest joys, and when it is combined with real friendship, both parties are enhanced in countless important ways. The day-to-day companionship, the pleasure in doing things together or in doing separate things, but in delighting in sharing experiences, is a continuous and central part of what two people who love each other can share. Marriage symbolizes the intimate sharing of two lives, yet this sharing must not diminish, but enhance the individuality of each partner. A marriage that lasts is one which continuously develops, in which each person develops individually while growing in understanding of the other. Deep knowledge of another is not something that can be achieved in a short time, and real understanding of the other's feelings can develop fully only with years of intimacy. This knowledge of another person grows out of truly caring for the other so much that one wants to understand as completely as possible what the other is feeling, and share not only joys and successes, but also burdens, sorrows, disappointments, and failures. To be known in this way is a priceless thing, because such understanding and acceptance make it easier to live with our day-to-day problems, failings, and cares. But again, while marriage is the intimate sharing of two lives, it can also enhance the differences and individuality of each partner. We must give ourselves in love, but we must not give ourselves away. A good and balanced relationship is one in which neither person is overpowered or absorbed by the other. Thus, it is out of the tension between separateness and union that love, whose incredible strength is equal only to its incredible fragility, is born and reborn. In the words of retired United States Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy, and this is from the Obergefell versus Hodges decision, "No union is more profound than marriage, for it embodies the highest ideals of love, fidelity, devotion, sacrifice, and family." In forming a marital union, two people become something greater than once they were. To honor this sentiment, Claire and Maurice have chosen 3 readings and have asked 3 important people in their lives to participate in this part of the ceremony. First, I would like to ask Pega Zardust to come up and share with us St. Francis' prayer here in the city named for him, and in honor of Claire's grandfather, Keith. Claire and Maurice would also like to acknowledge those who are no longer with us, including Fern, Wendell, Eugene Sr., Lucy, Isaura, and Juan. Although these individuals are no longer with us physically, we are certain they are here this day in spirit.
Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
Thank you, Pega. Claire and Maurice have now asked Congressman Mark Takano to read a passage from Claire's favorite book, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. This passage reflects the delight of finding someone who challenges you in mind and spirit.
Elizabeth's spirit soon rising to playfulness again, she wanted Mr. Darcy to account for his ever fallen in love with her. "How could you begin?" said she. "I can comprehend your going on charmingly when you had once made a beginning, but what could set you off in the first place?" Mr. Darcy: "I cannot fix on the hour, or the spot, or the look, or the words which laid the foundation. It is too long ago. I was in the middle before I knew that I had begun." Elizabeth, still fishing for a compliment: "My beauty you had early withstood, and as for my manners, my behavior to you was at least always bordering on the uncivil. And I never spoke to you without rather wishing to give you pain than not. Now be sincere. Did you admire me for my impertinence?" Mr. Darcy: "For the liveliness of your mind, I did."
Thank you, Congressman Takano. Lastly, Claire and Maurice have asked Maurice's mother, Leonor, to read a passage from 1,000 Years of Solitude by Colombian author Gabriel Garcia Marquez, celebrating growing together and growing old together. You will find the English translation at the bottom of your program.
Okay. Locamente enamorados, al cabo de tantos años de complicidad estéril, gozaban con el milagro de quererse, tanto en la mesa como en la cama. Y llegaron a ser tan felices que todavía, cuando eran dos ancianos agotados, seguían retozando como conejitos.
Gracias, Leonor. We are here this afternoon to celebrate the love which Claire and Maurice have for each other, and to give social recognition to their decision to accept each other totally and permanently. Into this state of marriage, these two persons come now to be united. Today, you will recite vows that are promises to each other. You will find, as you live by these vows, investing your time and love into your commitment to each other, that happy times in your lives will be twice as joyous as the sad times, will be half as difficult. The couple has written promises to each other they would like to read out loud now.
Claire, first and foremost, here we are. Here we are after almost 9 years of dating, almost 6 years of living together, and more than 2 years of being engaged. It feels incredible to say that, standing with you, surrounded by friends and family. as we celebrate the beginning of our next phase of us. When we first met at Clyde's in DC, thank you, Ashish, I confess I didn't know what I was getting myself into. That night, I only knew that I had met a beautiful, smart young woman who shared my interest in history, had a passion for politics, and an intensity that was contagious. Our first long discussion about UK counterterrorism still stands out in my mind. I remember thinking, I recently finished writing a thesis about this topic, and this girl thinks she knows more about this than I do. Well, 2 hours and several drinks later, she had matched me point for point, and I hadn't managed to prove to her that I knew very much. As an aside, I learned that this discussion was actually intended to get me involved and go out on a date, and it definitely worked. But know that the conviction that you showed then and continue to show today is something that I draw strength from, and I believe the others around you draw strength from that as well. As we've grown together, I have learned more about my own strengths, dashing good looks, sharp wit, a somewhat inconsistent charm. However, more importantly, I've learned about my shortcomings and my fears. When my confidence in myself wavered, you believed in me. When I felt directionless, you helped me confront my problems head on. There are too many examples to list here, but each one was a time when I drew strength from us. And that, to me, is the most important thing about our relationship and our impending marriage. While we both continue to be vibrant individuals, you and I are stronger as us. With that in mind, for us, I vow to continue the experiences that you and I share. I vow to commit myself, fully and passionately to what we build together. I vow to always listen with an open mind, with the caveat that 10 minutes of space be allowed when needed. I vow that we will visit France together. I vow that I will work my hardest to treat challenges as opportunities and to continue to grow together. I vow to treat you as my equal and my partner. And finally, I vow to hold you in my heart as my closest friend, as a source of strength, and as my number one human. So Claire, while at times it has been tough, my love for you keeps on growing, and things between us keep on getting better and better. Let's keep a good thing going. I love you. Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. I got a little excited.
Yeah. That's actually against the law.
Jeez.
Okay. Maurice, I stand here with you today ready to take the next step in our lives together. From the moment I saw you in that corner booth at the illustrious DC establishment, Clyde's Chinatown, I knew that you were my person. I remember taking the metro home that night thinking about the possibilities of us. In many ways, our relationship has taught me patience, which my mom can tell you is an attribute I struggle with. Later, you can ask her about my senior year of high school, waiting to find out if I had gotten into Berkeley. It was not pretty. We had to wait to really be together for 2 years while you lived in California and I stayed in DC. I was ready to commit to you forever from day one, and 8.5 years later, here we are. From touring government buildings in Edinburgh, Budapest, and Barcelona, I hope everyone notices a theme based on where we're standing today, to celebrating Thanksgiving in Cambridge, going to the Magritte Museum in Brussels, and port tasting all day in Porto, hang gliding in the Andes, and floating in the darkness on a Colombian back road. You are my favorite travel partner, and I'm excited about the possibilities of our future adventures. I love your passion for the intricacies of the EU government structure and your belief in the power of creating a governing body to be a force of good in the world. I love and admire your desire to always learn or try something new. You are constantly growing, and I'm impressed by your efforts to read The Economist every morning and to consume as much news as you can throughout the day. From the outside, it may not seem like we are very similar. You love to hike and rock climb and kayak and swim, and I don't like to go outside. In fact, one of my favorite stories about you is when you realized last summer that you weren't tanning because you were using my SPF 85 sunscreen, and you really only need SPF 30. I have also never felt more understood than when we were spelunking in Colombia, a trip where I did things outside. And I told you I wanted to stay near the front of the group, near the guide, even though your whole family was at the back having a grand old time. And you said, of course you do, you want to get out of this cave as fast as possible. But our relationship is not built on matching hobbies, but on matching values. We believe in the power of democracy and a strong federal government. We believe in education and the importance of fully funding public education. We believe in diplomacy and respect. We share a commitment to justice and feminism. We also believe in eating delicious food in strip malls and at Michelin star restaurants and splurging for the wine pairing. We believe in traveling the world and challenging ourselves to see issues from other perspectives. We have a love of history and share a grounding in that discipline that shapes our mutual worldview. We also believe in the possibilities of this country and the promises we hope to see realized. And lastly, we both share a desire to be part of that process. This year has been demanding, but I know I could not have accomplished everything I have without your support. You always believed in me even when I had my doubts. From coming home to flowers, dinner, or just a glass of wine, I feel completely supported in our partnership to pursue my professional dreams. I promise to do the same for you, to support you in your dreams and efforts to improve our country. I promise to laugh freely and completely in your presence, even when you make fun of my laugh. I promise to try new things, to explore new countries, and to do things you love, like going outside. I promise to listen even when we do not agree. And lastly, I promise to continue to grow and change with you. I love you.
Do you, Claire, take Maurice to be your lawful wedded husband, to love and to cherish, to honor and to comfort in sickness and in health, in prosperity and adversity, to have and to hold from this day forth?
I do.
Do you, Maurice, take Claire to be your lawful wedded wife, to love and to cherish, to honor and to comfort in sorrow or in joy, in hardship or in ease, to have and to hold from this day forth?
I do.
Claire, what pledge or symbol do you offer in token of these vows?
This ring.
As you place this ring, a symbol of your commitment in marriage, on the third finger of Maurice's left hand. Oh, he only has 2 fingers. Just kidding. Repeat after me. In token of my love and devotion, I place this ring on your finger.
In token of my love and devotion, I place this ring on your finger.
Maurice, what pledge do you offer in token of these vows?
This ring.
As you place this ring, symbol of your commitment in marriage, on the third finger of Claire's left hand, repeat after me. In token of my love and devotion, I place this ring on your finger.
In token of my love and devotion, I place this ring on your finger.
May these 2 people, now married, keep this covenant which they have made. May they be a blessing and comfort to each other, sharers of each other's joys, consolers in each other's sorrows, helpers to each other in all aspects of their lives. May they encourage each other in whatever they set out to achieve. May they, trusting each other, trust life and not be afraid. Now, by virtue of the authority vested in me as a judge of the Superior Court of the State of California, and in reliance on the vows solemnly taken here by both of you, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Yes, I present to you Claire and Maurice.